Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today we're going to take a look at the DC Collectibles Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mikey as Batman. Now this says PX exclusive. This wasn't exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con. I think it just showed up there first because it was available at several dealers. Each one charging slightly different prices, but that's what you get with PX exclusives. It depends on the store. I got mine from Toy NK for 30 bucks. I saw it for 35 in some places, 40 at a couple. So I thought, oh man, I'm interested in a whole line of action figures, same style, same articulation scheme, about the same time, and I thought this would be a good taste of what is to come in this line. Looking at the package, at first I thought, oh man, there's not much to this, but the more I look at it, the more I think, oh, just Mikey Batman gear against the black logo right there. It's nice, it's simple, it works. 7 pieces, limited to 10,000. That seems like a lot of figures. On the back, promotional shot of Mikey. You see the rest of the line down here. Well, not all the rest of the line. The bad guys aren't down here. On the side, it kind of throws you off because it goes back to cartoon style Nickelodeon Turtles, which makes sense because the Nickelodeon logo's up there. And then it's sculpted by Jonathan Matthews. It's odd to just credit the one dude when we know several people worked on this. Logo on top, legalese on bottom. Let's see what the hell's going on here. And just to clarify, the paint work was done by Crackers O'Toole on Instagram, and then the cape itself, as we've seen them branching out a little bit, is C. Jesum, also on Instagram. He does a lot of soft goods customs, but apparently he's getting more work with the big companies like this and the Four Horsemen. Very cool stuff. Oh, very interesting. It's better than the promotional images led us to believe. First of all, though, it is a little bit smaller than I expected, but that makes sense because you look at the back of the package. Where'd that go? The turtles are shorter than, well, Batman's not your average guy. There's some muscle there, but, well, and then Raph is pretty tall, but Michelangelo over here is shorter than most of them. So the size makes sense. I'll get a better idea of the line overall when the rest of the line comes out. The sculpt is a little soft, but that matches the animation style of this movie. There's a faint M to the front here. Comes down to some super chunky knee pads and elbow pads. On the back, under the cape, the shell. We're used to seeing a shell back here. The belt continues on. The back of the knees have a little stop there that kinda, well, we'll talk about that here in a minute. The feet nicely sculpted, hands in the same style, and then there's the paint on top. It's mostly the base colors of the plastic showing through here on the front shell, here on the back shell, the green of the skin. But there's also some paint, very nice line work to bring out, well, kind of what the cartoon looked like. There's brown painted on around the elbow pad and then around the knees, which did lock them up a little bit. It was kind of scary getting those bent, but once they bent, it's nice and smooth now. There's also line work down in the grooves of the shell. But then up at the head, I don't know how this works. I know their head is bigger than Batman's. Here's his ear sticking off to the side, but I don't think the eyes would line up like that, right? Either way, it's a nice way of showing Mikey just goofing off. The paint on the teeth and the tongue is nice, and then it continues that black line work to kind of bring out detail. And you can see the orange straps from his mask sticking out of the bottom of the cowl. And then there's a cape. C. Jesum has a lot of customers, a lot of happy customers, but I wasn't sure how this would translate from prototype through production and then in product, you know, if this would be just as nice. And I have to say, this is pretty damn nice. There is a lot of cape here, and at first I thought, man, this is too much. I can't get around the figure and da-da-da-da-da. But it's easy enough to just, I mean, you can have him draped in the cape, or if you just take it and bunch it up and then stick it under, it works really well over the shoulders. The material looks nice for this scale. It looks a little bit cut with scissors at the ends, but it still works. I haven't had any fraying yet. And then it has a nice weight to it, especially when you double it up to put it over his shoulders. It just, it's heavy, but not heavy enough to drag the figure over when you try to stand him up. It's just natural. That's what I'm gonna say about it. It just feels natural for this toy. Now, like I said, there's a little bit of a surprise after seeing the promotional shots. In those, it seems like they're using the prototype. It can't be moved around much, so it really couldn't display any articulation. Getting the figure in hand, there's one point that I do not like at all, but then, I don't know, the body's pretty nice. The head is essentially a swivel, despite, let's see if I can get this off. Ow! Be careful with that because those are sharp. These are not kids' toys. They didn't soften them down any. You could stab somebody in the gut. That's also a way to get the cape off. As you can see, there's a ball joint up here at the top. Ow, God. And a crevice, but not, well, actually, let's see what it is without the cape. Does the cape hinder anything? There may be a little bit of tilt. There may be a little bit of up and down, but it's mostly swivel. At the shoulder, there's a hinge up to about right there. Rotates around. Hinge and swivel at the elbow comes up to about right there. It looks like they tried to maximize the movement there, but they didn't want to cut too low, I guess. And then that swivels, hinge and swivel at the hand. And then the torso. At first I thought there's nothing there. There's shell, but if you lift up the arm, you can see a cut right there. You can kind of go side to side with it. Comes up and down. And then it also rotates there. Forward and back, though, is really hindered by the shells. Ball joint coming out to the hip, you can come forward with it. Back, out, you'll notice that is a soft plastic right there, so it gets up and out of the way. So you can high kick despite the promotional images showing otherwise. A little bit of rotation on the ball there. Double knee, and like I said, there's a wedge right here that kind of stops it from going too far, but that's not bad at all. And really with that wedge, when you straighten the leg out, it kind of keeps the articulation from breaking up the silhouette a little bit. Then there's the feet. Watch this. Not so much to the front though. And then very nice rocker. In fact, it gets so far over you can see the joint up in there, which is a hinge and swivel like the wrist with a forward-facing pin. I don't know if you can see that, but that's where his ear stabbed me. There's a dangerous weapons. For accessories, Mikey comes with 2 relaxed hands, 2 splayed out hands, and 2 thumbs up hands. Those are easy enough to switch out. They pop right off. And you'll notice that it's pretty thick peg there. Getting them on can be a little tough because the ball likes to rotate away from you. But once you get it on there, it's on there. It's good. And I guess this hand could be used as a grip hand too for the tiny slice of pizza that comes with them. Same simple style as the aesthetic for the figure, but that's most definitely pepperoni. It's not gripped on there, it's just kind of sitting, but it's not bad. And then finally, there's a New York City manhole cover painted to look like a pepperoni pizza. At first I thought it's a stand, but there's no peg on it, and there's no peg holes on the bottom of the feet, so it's not really that. I don't understand why there's holes through it, but at the end of the day, it goes right there, and I guess you could have him standing on it if you wanted a little bit more separation between it and the shelf, I guess. I don't know. Or you can just have him holding it. Maybe he slings it at somebody. I haven't watched the movie yet. Don't stab me. It's very easy to put the cape back on, pop the head back off. You'll see the seams on the inside that most definitely go on the inside. Put that back on, and you'll notice that it makes the neck a little bit thicker, hindering the neck movement a little bit more. So with the cape on, definitely no tilt, definitely no forward and back. Just that. For size, Mikey stands at 5 inches tall to the top of his head, 5 1/4 inches to the top of the ears. For comparison, here are my trusty, handy, dandy Black Series Stormtrooper and the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap-bodied Black Panther. Noticeably small, but I feel like it really works well in 6-inch scale. I'm hoping the Batman is about this size, even though the cartoony aesthetic is not going to fit in with the rest of my display, but it'll make a beautiful, yeah, you know. Here he is with the Playmates Nicktoons Michelangelo and the NECA original comic book Michelangelo. Here's the excellent NECA 1990 movie Donatello, because I haven't opened that set yet. I know. And then the not so excellent Playmates 1990 movie Michelangelo. The SH Figuarts Michelangelo, and then the NECA video game Michelangelo. And then for giggles, here's the Mezco 1/12 Collective Joker and Popeye. Man, that looks good. So at the end of the day, I was somewhat interested in this figure, but now I am kind of excited for the whole line. Now, it's not the most super articulated figure ever made, but it is better than I thought it would be. I'm hoping the necks on the rest of the line are better than this, but even then, this is just kind of a couple of minutes in the movie, so it's a very one-off look. But despite some of the articulation being a little bit hindered, I'm still excited for the line now. I know this is a good figure. I'm hoping the rest of the line is good figures, because essentially, some 2-packs are coming out. Before the end of the year, we'll have a whole set. We'll have a whole display that all matches aesthetically. It kind of looks amazing. Now, I still need to watch the movie. It's on the list of many things I need to watch. But just seeing a new set of Turtles altogether, plus some other characters to go with it in the same style, that's exciting. Most of the time, we get a set of Turtles, and then we may get a supporting character or somebody off to the side, and then whatever company just goes on to the next thing. NECA's doing a good job, and I think they're going to come out with a lot of stuff. But this will all release near the same time, if GameStop's still open. And if Collectibles doesn't cancel this. I know they just have track records, and it's not looking good for GameStop. At the same time, they should all be out before December, so they're so quick. should have no problems. I'm looking forward to it. And then as we near the end of this review, a final warning. Be careful with the ears, because I actually was bleeding and I didn't even know it. I thought, man, there's some paint smear or something on here. It was actual blood. I know that sounds gross, but it's gone now. DC Collectibles is trying to kill me. So what can I say? Go to Big Bad Toy Store, put this on pre-order or order if it's released now. If you're interested in the Turtles or in a different style, or if you enjoyed the movie, this may be the toys for you. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.